This is a small claims trial. The name of the plaintiff is Kaylee Schleybaugh, and she is here with me at the courthouse. Here appearing by Zoom is Kiona Eaton. Then it says Arlena. What does that mean?
It's my middle name.
All right, but you go by Kiona?
Yes.
Okay. This is a claim for $500. Ms. Schleybaugh filed this action having to do with a failed attempt at sharing living quarters. We are in the small claims court. As such, the rules are different than general civil court. They're more relaxed. In small claims court, both parties are under oath, or all parties are under oath, but there's no appeal from small claims court. Any decision here is final. Either party has the right to remove the matter to the general division of the court, where you'd have the right to have the rules of evidence apply. You'd have a right to have an attorney. You'd have a right to appeal it. You could sue for up to $25,000. This is $500, well under the statutory limit for small claims court. Once we begin, any decision here is final. Ms. Schleybaugh, you understand that? You have to speak your answer.
Yes.
And Ms. Eaton, you understand as well?
Yes.
All right. First thing I'm going to do is swear you both in. Will you both please raise your right hand? We both swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
Yes.
All right. Now I've reviewed this last week and again this morning. If I understand correctly, Ms. Schleybaugh, you were going to move in with Ms. Eaton at her Elm Street address, and that didn't work out. Why do you believe that Ms. Eaton owes you $500?
So I actually wrote down all of the events that happened.
All right.
So, the beginning of June, can I just tell you like the whole story?
Yes.
Okay, so the beginning of June, me and my boyfriend were having issues.
June of this year?
Yes,
All
that's
right.
great. And, so we were on a break and then we broke up for a second. I had her on Snapchat just this year. I believe in the evidence thing, it shows that as well, that I just.
I saw the Snapchats. It was hard to tell who was saying what. So frankly, I was a little confused, but I thought maybe when everybody got here, I'd get some sense of it. So go ahead.
So I took a screenshot of when I had first started talking to her. I had known her prior to that, like not known her, but like I knew who she was. Because I knew that she was going to, I believe, Sturgis schools. I'd heard about her and stuff, thought she seemed cool. I started talking to her, became friends with her. Went over.
Is this friends in the real world or virtual world?
At first it was just texting, and then we went and actually hung out.
Starting when?
I think like almost towards mid-June, like second week of June.
Okay.
So I then me and my boyfriend had stayed there for a little bit, like for a night, because we needed to. Correct.
All right.
And after that, we didn't hang out as a group together, like me and my boyfriend and her, because like I said, we were going on a break and we broke up. And so I was like, she's nice, she's chill. I asked her, hey, can I stay with you? And then from there on, a couple weeks, maybe like not a couple weeks, but like a little bit later on, we had come up with this idea that I would move in with her, and so would her friend Lexi Lyle. I think that's how you pronounce her name. So the reason why I decided I didn't want to move in with her was due to the fact that she had lost something, and then I was blamed for it, and she took my keys from me and held me in her house along with like her and her boyfriend, her friend Lexi Lyle, and then her two sisters. Took my keys, went through my car, everything. My AirPods went missing. The next day, I didn't think anything of it at the time, because I'm like, maybe they're just in my house, but then they weren't, checked everything. So then I also saw her boyfriend have them as well. And I was like, they look an awful lot like mine. And in the text, she says they don't look anything like that. So I'm like, that's
All right,
weird.
so at some point you were going to move into. So did you move your property there?
Correct, yeah,
Tell me
she
about
actually
that.
helped me, she actually helped me move that. She went to my house and my parents can vouch for me and
Where were
say
you
that,
living then?
Um,
All right. So you moved your property to, and when was that?
that was, I wanna say like a little bit after we started hanging out. It was probably the middle of June, I would say. Cause it was a week that I was actually there with her and like living with her.
Were you going to pay rent?
Yeah, I was gonna help pay rent, cause it was her boyfriend, her, and then, Lexi would be paying rent, so it'd be pretty cheap to go and combine the income, so we were gonna. all
How
pay
much
for
were
it.
you gonna pay?
I don't remember how much she said it was. I think it was like maybe 600 total that we would all pay. So we're just gonna like divide that evenly between us all.
All right, what kind of things did you move to her house?
I moved my AirPods, this projector, and well, I didn't move the AirPods in her house. They were in my car. I had cleaned my car out. They were sitting in the middle console of my car. Then they disappeared. I do have the box here. They're brand new. And that, and then I also had a dehumidifier as well as some like a Bior, like micellar water, like a full container of it, cotton swabs or cotton pads, I should say, an amp and a microphone. I believe a cleaning, like a water measure for a cleaning tool that I have, that because all my cleaning stuff was brought into the house as I clean an Airbnb. So I grabbed that. I would have grabbed that for the Airbnb. I just didn't have the other thing because they'd used my cleaning supplies without my permission.
Or did you
and I
move your
missed it.
clothing?
So I had a basket of clothes and then I also had a suitcase. The suitcase I forgot to get, because it was in the corner, so I didn't see it, but I would have if I had remembered. But I had a basket of clothes, I took that. The only things that I took from her house, at the time, because I had stopped in, because I was gonna slowly move out. Because I figured, I'd be able to get my stuff later, which didn't end up having been the case, but, I got the fan because I texted her at night. I
Well, all right,
said,
let me get right to it. Why do you believe she owes you $500?
um,
What of your stuff does she have that you feel you didn't get back?
so I had a thing that goes in here inside of the projector. It is what controls its ability to use Netflix and all that stuff. And it has some of my personal stuff in there. This is what was returned to me, as well as my suitcase, which just had clothes in it. I am missing the actual thing that plugs into it so that it can actually turn on. I'm missing my AirPods, which in the photos of the texts, she does say that she has it. And I also knew that because every single time that her boyfriend would take the AirPods and use them, for some reason on my phone, because AirPods will tell you when your case is open and the battery, I kept getting notifications and I was like, I'm not using my AirPods. So I was like, that's weird that every single time her boyfriend would put them in, that it would tell me that. I also didn't grab my deodorant, which was in there. I also didn't grab the face the micellar water, or the cotton pads, because I had planned on getting them later and I had no need for them at the time. See if and the amp is still in our house because I didn't get that back. So there's that.
So you believe this undetermined item, I don't understand what you're talking about with this projector. Is it like a hard, uh, a like a thumb drive or something that plugs into there with drivers or something?
So on this side, you have an HDMI. So, you know how Amazon has like their own little Amazon Prime thing that you can put into a TV so you can stream other things. That's what it was, but it wasn't an Amazon Prime. It was a Roku. So I could stream like anything on Roku.
All right, so you're missing the little Roku thing.
Yeah.
What's that worth?
Well, while looking.
Well, how did you come up with $500?
So
Just throw something at the wall and see if it would stick, or does this somehow add up to $500?
So when I was adding it all up, I had actually looked up the products that I had and their prices and then added them up to see how much it would be worth. So I looked up how much this was. I don't quite remember how much, but I think it was along the lines of like maybe 16 to 20, somewhere around there. I wasn't sure how much the thing that you plug it into the wall would be worth, because I don't know, I just never looked it up.
Are you
I just
also
made an
missing the
assumption.
power cord for it?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm also missing that as well.
Well, you're the plaintiff. You have the burden of proof. So it isn't like, well, it's kind of, I think maybe it might be this. I've got to try to get some more definite stuff. All right. Well, what brand are your AirPods?
Apple,
What are they worth?
like 260, I would say, around there.
Again, I guess. All right. So we got some vague idea of some property that she says was not returned. Miss Eaton, do you agree that at some point Miss Schleybaugh started to move property into your house?
Yes.
All right, what's your side of this story?
She was planning to move in. She was never going to pay rent. We don't even pay rent where we are living. The AirPods she's talking about are AirPods.
Why don't you pay any rent?
Because it's my little sister's dad's house and it's paid off. So we don't have to pay him rent. We just pay utility bills.
Who actually owns the house?
Jan Mangold.
Okay. Okay, so she started to move in. You agree it was in late June?
Yes.
All right, what happened next?
She was really back and forth with her boyfriend and she would like come and go. So we all decided that we weren't going to have her live with us. And she also just decided to go back to her boyfriend and we gave her everything that was there. She's talking about those AirPods coming to or dinging back to my house, but she had the regular AirPods. He had AirPod Pros, and it's a visible difference. And she also called the cops to my house about those AirPods, and I told everybody that she had a tracker on them and that it tracked it back to my house. She called the cops, and she ended up telling them that she was lying about that too. I don't have anything of hers.
What about this Roku connector or the power cord?
She never, I don't even know what that is, but she never brought that to my house. And I looked it up and it's only $16 to $20 for the whole entire thing, not even just the part she's saying she's missing.
Did you prohibit her from taking any property?
No.
What happened when she left?
She kept trying to come at bad times. She kept trying to bring her boyfriend to my house with her, who she knows is not allowed to be there. So I wouldn't let him come in. That was a problem. She would come in even when I said I wasn't home, or not come in, but come to my house, even when I said I wasn't home. And I ended up giving her everything that she left at my house back. I was still texting her back after I gave her stuff back
Now,
because
tell me how and where you gave her stuff.
I set it out on my front porch for her to grab.
All right, including stuff like this purifying water and makeup and her suitcase and that sort of thing. Did she get her suitcase back
Yes, she got her suitcase back.
and her basket of clothes?
Yes.
Isn't Mr. Mangold, is he in prison right now?
Yes.
So he owns the house and you guys are maintaining it while he is gone.
Yes, but I also don't live there anymore.
Oh. Seems like I had an eviction case out of that house, which was quite convoluted. All right, so it's your position is you don't have any of her property and whatever property was there, you gave back to her.
Correct.
Now, the cops came there several times, correct?
I only talked to them one time.
And why were the police there?
I didn't believe her until you just said that, but she did tell me she was gonna call the cops to my house. But the whole 2 weeks that we were texting, I kept telling her I was not even in Michigan at the time. I was not home at all.
Where were you?
I was in Middlebury, Indiana.
So I was trying to follow those texts, but I couldn't tell what was what. So what day do you think she actually got all of her stuff?
I have the papers. On July 25th.
Who's the boyfriend you didn't want there?
His name's Adam. I don't know his last name.
All right, so there's these texts going back and forth. When you left to go to Middlebury, were there other people living in the house?
Kinda for a little, like a couple days, but not living there, just staying there.
So has everybody moved out?
Um, no. Well, I mean, like everybody that was living there at the time with me, yes. But there's new people living there.
There's my next landlord tenant case. Kaylee Ann's iPod Pro, no location found. So hers, can I see the box?
Yeah, so before she had said that they are AirPod Pros, these are also AirPod Pros. So they're the same kind.
All right. Now, you're not contending that you took them there and left them there.
No, they
You
were in my
contend
car.
that someone took them out of your car.
Yeah, I think what had happened was when they took my keys to then keep me at her house because she had thought I took something from her. They had gone and searched through my car, and after that day, I could not find them. They randomly disappeared out of nowhere, and then after that day, while at her house. I had noticed her boyfriend had the same kind. I'd never seen him use them before. And every time, like I said, he would open the case and whatnot. I would get a
Well, the
notification.
problem with that is he's not here. You're suing her. You have to prove beyond at least a preponderance that she took your AirPods. They did this, her boyfriend had it. That's not her. She's not liable civilly for the actions of her boyfriend. So that you haven't made your burden of proof as to the iPods or any of the other stuff for that matter. I can't sort any of this out. That she says she gave everything back. You've got a bunch of miscellaneous stuff. You just assigned a $500 price tag to. You may or may not have had a power cord for that thing. So that's what you use for TV. You had a Roku stick and then just protected it on the wall.
Yeah, it came with a remote and it also had that piece, like I said, already in it, so that I could stream other things. It also had a plug-in so it would work. So without those, it's just. After she had or I had seen him with it, he had left her and didn't stay in the house anymore at the time. And I texted her, said like, hey, do you have them at your house? And she said that she has them, that her friend put them somewhere in the house or something.
Where is that?
She said it in one of the papers that I had for evidence.
Am I allowed to say something?
Yeah.
I did say that, but I only said that because she had been telling me that the location was tracking them to my house. And then she called the cops and told them that that was a lie, but she just assumed they were here. But I had believed her, and I told her if she came to my house and if she could ping or track them to the location that she could grab them. And that's what she said, that she didn't actually have a location on them.
That's what the text said, or the email said, no location for the iPod Pro. All right. Ms. Schleba, anything else you want to tell me?
I mean, I have a timeline. I went through all the texts and like kind of like wrote down what was said and whatnot. So like this is only parts of it. It's the parts where she's saying she has my stuff and her saying she doesn't have my stuff. But in the photos, there's photos of the what's it called? The dehumidifier. And then there's photos of it in her house. I also have a video on my phone that I can show you of me being in her house with her friend Lexi Lau. And it panning the room because I was still texting my boyfriend. Well, not really.
Let me say this, you're sure cavalier with your stuff. You sort of half-ass move in with these people you don't know very well. You don't have a lease. You're not gonna pay any rent. You bring your clothes in a basket. You leave and forget that your suitcase is there. You think maybe somebody did this. You left because you were gonna like move out slowly, like when you felt like it, and then you're outraged that you didn't get all your stuff back. It's amazing that you got as much back as you did. So yeah, there's the Roku thing. Now, those texts, all I see is someone's gonna beat somebody else's butt. So what about this amplifier, this 15-watt amp and the microphone?
So those I brought in because I had thought that it would be fun for her niece to use and for everyone else to use because I used it because I write music and stuff. And so I brought it in because I was like, I'm moving in, might as well bring some stuff in as well. And I thought at the time that it would be fun to bring it in. And then I never got that back.
Then she says stuff like, you know, your stuff's all gonna be in the river. Um, but again, you've got the burden of proving that she did it. And just petty stuff over petty stuff. And it isn't worth $500. I think you just pluck that out of the air and then I'm supposed to figure it out. All right, Miss Eaton, anything else you want to tell me?
No,
So you're not even in the house anymore. You
no.
alleged in July, you gave her all her stuff back and then you moved out and other people moved in.
Yes.
Who's in there now?
Ambrosia Adams, Aiden Snyder, and Lexi Snyder.
Do they have Mr. Mangold's permission to be in there?
No, not at all.
Yeah, wonderful.
She's also not a landlord, so and she has no like rights to the house at all. She's the one that's supposed to get evicted.
All right. So is it possible that some of this stuff is still at the house?
No, because I was there up until this month. And like I said, I believed her about those AirPods because she said the location showed. So I searched my house absolutely everywhere. I had both of my sisters helping me. Absolutely none of her stuff is in that house.
What about this amplifier and dehumidifier?
She did bring her dehumidifier, but one night she was throwing a fit and packed all of her stuff into her car, and she packed her dehumidifier that night and never brought it back, just with more of her stuff like her basket and all that.
All right. Ms. Schleybaugh, you're the plaintiff. I'll give you the last word.
So I had not packed my dehumidifier in my car. The reason why I was so like in a mess was because they had just kept me hostage technically in their house because she thought I took something of hers. And I was getting my stuff. I put it on her porch because I was about ready to leave. They all come out and then they apologize. And after saying a bunch of stuff, they apologized. And I brought back my stuff in, but then I slept in my car because I don't want to be around that. I had to take a minute to myself to think about whether or not I really wanted to stay there, which then I was where I made my decision to like not live there anymore because I don't want to be surrounded by that type of people or person. Another thing is that the only things that I got back was this, as well as a fan and a charger. Like I had asked her one night, can I go get that and pick that up? And a basket of clothes. Now, the only things
Did you get your suitcase back?
Yeah, I got my suitcase back, but I expected maybe my AirPods or any of this stuff would be in there because it wasn't on that. So I taken a photo of it to show what I got back.
All right. I find no cause of action, meaning you don't get anything. The iPods may well be missing, but proving that she took them, you have the burden of proof and you haven't proven that even beyond a preponderance. The rest of it, it's she said, and no one's clear, everything's vague. The price is just something you pulled out of the air, so it's a tie. And in order to prevail, you have to prove more than a tie. You have to prove beyond a preponderance of evidence. So you get none. So I guess this is a learning lesson about where you go and who's you associate with and what you do to take care of your property. I can't tell you, it's possible that cord's laying under a bed someplace. I don't know where the Roku stick is, but you haven't met your burden of proof. So if you go out to the counter, excuse me, I'm trying not to sneeze. I'll give you the paperwork. Miss Eaton, I've ordered that you pay none. Excuse me.
Bless you.
The same for you. Be careful about what you're doing, who you're with. You're living in this house, which Mr. Mangold's in prison and people are just moving in and out of there willy-nilly, causing great headache for the city of Three Rivers. You drag the police into this and they got better things to do than look for your missing AirPods. But nonetheless, if it's a tie, the tie goes to the defendant. She's prepared an order for me that looks better than the one I did. All right, Ms. Schleybaugh, I'm sorry. You go out to the counter. And the clerk will give you a copy of that order. Miss Eaton, what's your current address? All right. We'll put that on there. I'll just write it in here. All right, you're both free to go.
Thank you.